got the win, but when did you find out about Kevin's ankle?
Right before we went into meetings.
We watched it on film. I was out there watching with Kelvin and a few others. It looked like a bad twist of his left ankle. Do you have any update as far as severity of it?
No, we don't. Right now, we'll get more testing done tomorrow. But right now, it's just a ankle sprain, and we don't have anything official to report.
You guys have been cautious with injury because of what's happened previously. It's another situation. You said you're just coming back from an injury.
No, I don't. I mean, we're always, I think every team in the NBA is cautious just because, there's a care for the guys that are trying to win games and protect their livelihood. So that's always at the highest place on the list. This will be no different. We just have to wait and see how he responds to treatment, and we'll probably get some more imaging just to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Just how frustrating is that, Monty? Just given the build-up,
I don't get caught up in the build-up at all. For me, it's just how do you get your team on the floor and get everybody healthy. He's out there working his tail off, getting ready for the game, and he twists his ankle. So, I mean, you can't get frustrated about that. It's life. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for him because he feels bad. He feels like, I saw his face, and I've been around him so many times. I know what he's feeling, and I don't want him feeling that way at all. Our group has adapted to a number of things all year long, from the summer until now, and this is no different. So we'll do our best to get him healthy and get him back out there on the floor.
Monty, given the circumstances, like less than an hour before tip and getting a change like that, how did you like the way the guys responded?
It was huge to have that kind of start to the game. And again, I think because we've been in these situations before where there's things that pop up, I think our guys are used to stepping up and playing a certain way and a certain style. And, obviously it helps when a guy goes for 44 points in 27 minutes and another guy goes for 24 and 23 minutes. That helps. But I thought D.A., his tone in the third quarter was huge. He understood that the level had dropped a bit in the second quarter, and he came out, and he and Chris both had a different edge about them. And Ish was phenomenal. I don't think he scored a point tonight, if I'm not mistaken, but he was unreal. Rebounding the ball, he made a smart play. He was saving the ball. He threw it in the backcourt. Like that's the kind of stuff that you're proud of, because those are the kinds of things that we teach during the year about making smart plays that help you win games.
You look at Book, he's averaging 38 points over the last 4 games. Is there anything in particular as far as how he's just kind of found his stride, maybe knocking some of the
Just coaching. That's what he does, man. We said it at the end of the Dallas game. Kevin had 36, Kevin had 37, Book had 36, and I just told the group, you can't take that for granted. I think when guys do it the way that they do it, it's easy to, think that they're going to be like that all the time, and that's just not the case. It's a high level of skill and hard work and experience, but he's a phenomenal basketball player, and he's showing it on the offensive end and defensively. Our team defense was really good tonight, but that kind of scoring and the way that he's scoring, as I said, is something we don't take for granted.
Monty, how much of this last week from Book do you think is him just getting back to full health and where he was in the middle of December?
I think that, and I'm sure there's just, he just wants to kill and eat. That's who Book is. I mean, he's just a nut. He picked up his 4th, and he didn't want to come out. He's probably wanting to fight me in that moment, but I got to protect him. But he's he's playing at a high level, but he's also, it's not just the scoring. Like he was getting off the ball tonight, finding guys. He's just a really good basketball player, and he's hungry. You can see it. I see it in his workouts. I see it in the focus and film session. You see it on the floor. Like there's a hunger. He's chasing something, and it gives our team a lot of juice.
You mentioned the team defense being in a good spot. What stood out from just the way you guys were able to contain them?
Say that again.
You mentioned the team defense was good. Just what stood out?
We got more physical in the second half. I thought our switches, we were really loose. Typically when teams are in small screening situations, you have to put your hands on bodies to escort a guy to the screen so they can't slip. And the communication was a lot earlier in the second half than in the first, in particular in the second quarter. I thought it dipped a bit. And we got more physical. Everybody was talking, and then the low man was there to help out if there was a mistake in the screening action. We were just putting the pieces together because, as I told you before the game, like they play that way every night. Small screens, attack the paint, cuts every single night. Doesn't matter who they put on the floor. And now they have some guys that can really shoot the ball. So if you make a mistake trying to help, they just pitch it to a guy who can shoot a three, and they have capable shooters.
Coach, looking at Terrence and the way he shot the ball tonight, obviously you're not going to shoot it like that every night, but just when he's on like that, how important is that for the team?
I mean, it gives us another guy that can get his own shot, but he can also space the floor and knock down threes. He's got a big body. He can get to the basket and take a hit. He can finish over top of guys when he needs to, but I'm trying to get him to just be himself. Sometimes he'll get the ball, he'll get a rebound, and he'll look to pass it to somebody, and I'm like, we don't do that. Like, just take off and play your game. And he's just not used to that yet. I think there's some deferment there, and we're trying to get him out of that. And then defensively, I think once he figures out what we do on defense and figure out the schemes and the terminology, he'll be more settled.
Coach, how have you seen Book grow as a leader in your time here?
I think in today's economy, I think the leadership thing gets thrown around too much. I don't think guys necessarily have to lead the way that you would typically define leadership. But I've seen him grow in his leadership role, in his work ethic, in the way that he translates our culture and the things we do to new guys. Book's not a guy that's going to talk all of the time just to be talking. But when he does speak, people listen. I think that's a form of leadership. So I think he's one of the culture drivers here. He's been with me from day one, and I think that's probably the thing that I've seen with him is he's a guy that, he pushes our culture, and that to me is a great form of leadership and timely for where we are right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monty.